When Jamaica and I were looking for a celebrity guest, a keynote speaker, we were tossing around names and she kept going back to Ryan. She was like, I love Grownish and I love her character and we gotta see if we can get her. My husband's in the industry, so I had to pull that favor, y'all. And he came through with his partner, Askia Fountain. So you guys, I am just so honored to introduce this beautiful shining star, this wonderful triple threat of a young woman, Miss Ryan Destiny. Thank you so much for being here with us. We really are excited to
Thank
see you.
you. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. So honored. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. And, I was just doing a lot of research and, you're welcome to take the floor, but I can throw out questions as well. I was looking at how you were just talking about it's just important for us to tell our stories, to have representation of all of what Black girls look like and Black women. So you can speak on that or whatever your heart feels, you can go for it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I wish I could take the floor how Cheryl did because wow. One day I'll get there, one day. But yeah, I feel like we all see and know and are being educated as time goes on of how important it is to be seen, and not just in a stereotypical way, but in a way that's universal, in a way that we can be seen in ways that we probably haven't even seen ourselves before. But we know that we're out there. So it's just really important to have representation, and we all know that it's just about, breaking down those doors and making it known and making it happen actually on the screen. So.
Absolutely. And how do you handle the pressure? You're really young, you're 25 and you've been in this industry for a very long time. How do you handle these pressures? Because there's pressures from just representing Black women and Black people, but then there's also pressures of people wanting you to conduct yourself in a particular manner. So how do you handle that?
I feel like I just take it day by day. I understand the weight that I have on me, and I understand that there are people that look up to me, and I do have to sort of carry myself in a way that is something that people can be proud of, but I also feel like I'm not perfect, so I never want to give that impression either. So I just have to continue to be me and be myself, and hopefully people can see me through that. And I think that's important too. Like, we're not always on and perfect all the time, and I think that is such an important thing for people to realize and see that doesn't have to be a thing all the time. Because I feel like growing up in the industry, I felt like that. I felt like that I had to, be on it all the time. And if anybody saw any little flaw or thing that, it would lessen my chances of an opportunity or anything, So I think it's just important that we stay authentic to ourselves, and I think that is enough. It's always enough.
So how do you think that would affect your career or maybe someone else's? Because some of the films that we showed, like one particular young lady, Kristen, talked about just being able to be herself and to be real. And a lot of times people want what they want from you. But when it comes to Black women, if we're passionate, then we're called emotional. If we are assertive or a leader, we're called bossy and aggressive. How do you deal with that? Because you're coming up in your career, and I know that there are moments where you have to put your foot down. And how do you balance that of what people will think, but then I got to be real in this moment?
Right. I honestly, I think it just comes with a approach of not caring. Like, you really cannot care. You can't care what people think. You can't really think of, the outcome of it. You just have to do what's true to you. And what's right in that moment. And I went through so many things where I felt disrespected in a lot of rooms and a lot of sets. And, I felt stuck, like I couldn't do exactly what I wanted to do or say what I actually felt and wanted to say because I was scared. And, I didn't want to jeopardize anything. But it's so much more rewarding and impactful when you really put your foot down. And I think that that was one of the things that I had to learn, was how important it was and how much more I would appreciate, love, and respect myself if I did that for myself, rather than anything else. Like, opportunities will come, things will come, you know, people will come to you. You just have to be true to you and understand and make people understand and recognize that they cannot disrespect you. And that was something that was so important for me to learn. Unfortunately, I had to learn it in, you know, not as a smooth way as, you know, maybe others can. But it was necessary. So I think balancing it, when you feel like you have to find a balance in it, kind of makes you pull back a little bit. And I don't want to say that you should do that. I feel like I say that to myself a lot, and I commend those people that don't, you know, hold back and they just go for it. I commend it. I respect it. And, you know, I want to continue to grow more into that. So I plan on doing that.
Yes. And you know, one of the things that we've taught our young ladies and we've really discussed is we talk about the work that it takes to be successful. And a lot of times people think because it's the movies or because it's a TV show or music, they think it's magical because we make it look easy. Let's talk about the work that it takes to become successful, whether someone reaches Hollywood fame or not, because that may not be the pinnacle or the star that someone's reaching for. But talk about the work that you've had to invest in yourself, because I know you made a decision to sing at 10, but you really got invested at 12. And that's young. I mean, we're still, you know, singing in the mirror with the hairbrush at that age. So let's talk about the work that you've had to invest in your career and in yourself to really become who you are today.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I feel blessed that I found, you know, what my heart really wanted to do at a young age. That's not always the case for everyone. And, you know, I feel like it's kind of like a jump start when you can start younger. But I really think the work never ends. I think I've always had to, you know, find like so many ways to grow, and the different projects that I, you know, get and our approach to me. And I think that it's really never ending. Like, you always are growing and you're always finding out new things about yourself. And, you know, I think it's always room to grow too. So that's the beautiful thing about it. And with each project that I've done, I've grown more and more, and I've found out different things about myself. And it's been a journey and it's not easy all the time. And I've had to have a lot of patience, obviously, because I think that's so important with this type of industry. You really, really do. And I've learned that things not going my way are really for the better. And I've seen that in the things that I've gotten after a certain no that happened, and I thought it was the end of the world. But, you know, things come, and once you see the bigger picture, it all aligns, and you're like, this is why this happened. Like, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be at this moment. So yeah, and I think that as long as you have an open mind with growing and knowing that, you know, you can be at your best and basically be in competition with yourself and keep going at that. And I think if you have like a work ethic that continues to push you forward, that's the best mindset to have in this industry, I think, by far. Anybody that sits and thinks that they're just like done, like chilling after like one project or like a few projects, even, like, you're gonna get, you know, shut down real quick with that, and a reality check is going to set in at some point for sure. So yeah, I just think with each project, to just continue to grow and find ways to be better, and it'll just continue to happen, I think, for pretty much our entire lives. And I think once you accept that, the journey will be a lot more, you know, you'll enjoy it way more. So
Absolutely. And I think that's a really good point, that you're basically saying, we're forever the student. You never arrive and say, oh, I get to sit back and chill now and bask in the glory of the fruits of my labor. No, it's like, now what's next? You know, because you got to keep going.
And also I think, you know, it's good to find a balance of where you do appreciate how far you've come. But that's also something I'm trying to work on, because I'm always like, oh, it's never enough. Like I'm always just trying to, continue to do better and be in better things, and, just try to do as much as I can. But I think it's so important to appreciate how far you've come, because man, it can be hard sometimes.
Yes, and sometimes you don't even realize, how much of the journey you've conquered. Now we do have some questions from a few of our girls. They're so excited to talk with you, and we had to ask them ahead of time because they were like, "I'm too nervous, and I think I'm just going to blank out." So we chose them ahead of time. So our first young lady is Jessica, and she's got a question.
Okay.
Hi. So my question for you is, what has your experience been like so far, being so young and already having such a huge footprint in the industry? I know that must be really tough, kind of like growing up. So what has that been like for you?
It's been just a complete blessing. Like I'm really, really grateful that people look at me in that way. Like you even saying that, I'm just like so honored. I think it's beautiful, and I'm thankful for that. But I try to just, I don't know, continue to do me, and hopefully like it'll all like pay off and work out with the things that I do, and just sort of be a reflection of growth. I keep saying that, but I feel like I have so much further to go. And I think that's why it's so weird hearing you say that. I'm just like, well, I feel like I'm still starting. Like, I've been doing it for so long, but it feels like that. So, that's all I can say. Thank you for that.
Wonderful. So our next young lady, her name is Sana, and she's got a question for you.
Okay.
Hi. My question is, how do you decide on jobs that could conflict either your values or beliefs?
Ooh. I've been going through that a lot recently. I think after I finished Star, a lot changed for me because I had learned so much within that time, meeting different people, powerful people that didn't always align with what I believed, and didn't always align with the things that I felt were right in my heart. Like I knew in my gut that this was wrong. And, sometimes you can feel like stuck in a situation because sometimes you literally are in a contract with things. So you do feel stuck, but, being in situations like that, I've learned that your voice is so powerful. And I had to kind of let go of this thought that somebody had power over me. And I think that was one of the biggest things that, I just had to tap into, is the fact that I don't care what you've done. I've gotten to a point where I don't care how many projects someone's done. I don't care how many Oscars you've won. I don't care. I really don't care. So in knowing that, it's, made it to where I just really have power within myself, and I know the power that I hold. And I think once you realize the power that you hold, and not only, I think everything is a team effort, and I think everyone needs each other, but you really have to sit in this realization that you got hired for a reason. You're here for a reason, and they need you. So nobody should be able to step over you. Nobody should be able to, do certain projects where you feel like, it doesn't make any sense. You should voice that. If you feel like something isn't right within the project or within the environment of the project, I think more than anything, you have to say that. And even with turning down certain things, I've turned down things that, I feel like are not what I want to do at all, and don't say what I feel like should be said. It just doesn't align with me. And I think once you just realize that things will continue to come, and it just, again, it goes into the power that you hold. Once you realize that, then all that will be so much easier to do. So.
No one has power over us. Yes, we need to Own our power. That is really good. Yes. All right. We got 2 more questions. All right, Miss Yana. Miss Yana is next.
Oh my gosh, hey. Okay, so my question is, what are some challenges you've had in the industry as a Black girl?
Ooh. I think maybe a little bit of everything. I feel like one of the things that, obviously, like when you're coming up and when I was younger, I just simply did not see a lot of projects coming my way that were something that I would want to do. Wouldn't be a lead of something, or just wouldn't be like a powerful role in general. Would sort of be a role to, be almost a prop, like in a way, and very like sidekicky type of like things. And, you don't have to be the lead of everything all the time, because there's powerful roles where it isn't the lead all the time. But I think that, you really have to sit and understand why that character's there. And I think that, it was very clear that I wasn't there for like a true reason. And sometimes I thought that people just weren't trying to cast me, because I remember going out for even auditions of things, and I'm like, I know they're not going to cast me. Like, they're not looking for somebody that looks like me. And I think that you have to also remember in those moments, like, you don't want to already put yourself out of the running. Like, you have to go for it. And I think sometimes I let all of the stuff in my head kind of take me out of it. But, I think a lot of people are changing, but I just went through a lot of things where it was a lot of behind the scenes things of people just not seeing my worth and not respecting me in the way that they would say they would, and would protect me in the way that they say that they would. I think I just went through a lot of things, I guess shady, if you will, lack of a better word, where it just wasn't truthful, and I didn't feel protected. So it was just a lot of behind the scenes things that I think, since it's behind the scenes, people think that they can get away with it, because usually they can, and that's what they're used to. So yeah, I mean, it was discrimination, colorism, racism, microaggressions, just a lot of different things that, I think sometimes you feel like you got to like suit up and get ready for. But I think things are changing, and I'm hopeful in that. And it's because of people like all of you in this room, people like us that are recognizing it and pointing it out. So yes, I'm hopeful.
Wow. Yes. We got to keep the hope. And then also we're the agents of change as well, which is a good thing. We can now position ourselves to change the things that just aren't working for us. So our last young lady is Miss Kristen.
Hi.
Hi.
So with the hardships that you've had in the industry, what are a couple nuggets or tips that you live by that helped you overcome?
Well, I think one that I sort of just talked about, which was not letting, our insecurities, not letting that defeat us, not letting it get into our heads and almost, defeating us before the opportunity even comes. Don't let that happen. I think that if you want to audition for a Disney princess that is not Tiana, you should do that. And don't let any type of like preconceived thing in the back of your mind, like they're not going to cast me because I'm not white or I'm not light. Like that sort of mentality, I think, can make you feel stuck like in your mind. And sure, that maybe it's a very real thing, but don't let it continue to, make it to where you aren't even putting yourself out there in that way. Like, please just go for it, because you just never know. And I think another thing too would just be to continue to speak up for yourself. I can't stress it enough, and I wish I could go into more detail of like why I think that that's so important, but I think it's pretty clear, like we go into situations where we aren't always respected. And I think that no matter what, if you have a fear of losing out on something, nothing is going to make you feel better than like how you stuck to your guns and like stayed true to you, and you voiced when an issue was being created, and you didn't hold back. I think that when you don't do that, you regret it, and that's the worst feeling, and you really don't want to feel that. So I would just say continue to stick up for yourself if nobody else will, because a lot of times you're all that you've got. And hopefully we won't have to be in situations where we do feel alone in those moments. But yeah, just speak and use your voice when you feel like you should.
Okay, to be so young, so wise, so wise. Yeah, that is some great advice to these young ladies. So we are wrapping up your portion. I would love for you to just speak to them on whatever you feel like your last words would be, because you've already thrown out some amazing gems. So what's the last message, call to action for them?
Yeah, I mean, I would say keep going. Try not to get jaded in this type of industry that can make you feel that way. Believe in yourself, please. And understand that this is a journey. Don't worry so much about the destination or the outcome of things. Really live in the things that you're doing and the work that you're putting in. Live in those moments, because those are the moments that will really have you grow and change you for the better, and probably are like the happiest moments too. And you don't want to let these moments like go by and you didn't even get to enjoy them. So please enjoy them. Be happy, have fun in all of these amazing creative outlets and things that we all do and you guys all do so beautifully. Continue to live in the happiness of it, and do it because you love it, because you're going to need that love. That love is super necessary in this whole entire journey. So yeah, that's all I would say. Thank you guys so much.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it's been a treat. I think the grown women enjoyed it just as much as the young ladies. Thank you for being here for us, and just keep being as magical and as fabulous as you have been. We're following your career and we're so proud of you.
Thank you so much. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you.